Now, I want to start this off by saying I have met DeVon Franklin before. I've seen him a couple of times actually. But the one time I actually got to talk to him was Yo, what's up YouTube? My name is Shisha Zed. I'm back in here with another video for you. Peace, positivity, self-awareness, and motivation. Hit that like button, man. Hit that like button, bro. Show your boy some love. DeVon Franklin. This was a shock. I don't get shocked often at all. I do this all the time. Release all these videos of like people breaking up and such. So I'm minding my own business on Instagram. Add me on Instagram, ChishiZed. When I come across this post by The Shade Room, the post says, DeVon Franklin officially files for divorce from Meagan Good. Now, just to catch some people up that may not know who DeVon Franklin actually is, because I'm sure plenty of people know who Meagan Good is. DeVon Franklin is a real strong icon within the Black Christian community. Not only is he well known for being a respected executive producer in Hollywood, he's also known for his ability to motivate people through his speeches, and he is a pastor. Now, I don't know if he's an ordained pastor, but I'm going to go on a limb here and say that he probably is. Why? Because I've actually seen him preach myself. How? I grew up in the church, man. I grew up in the church. Specifically, I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist church. Now, why was this a shock to most people? Well, because they were that perfect couple in the spiritual sense within like the Christian sect, and probably to many other people there, right? We've got a guy here who followed God, became a pastor within a secular industry, right? Where you wouldn't think would be a guy who worships God and has all these Christian ideals. And what does he do? Instead of marrying a traditional Christian woman, he goes and marries a pagan. No, I'm just messing with you guys. I'm not going to call it that. He goes and finds a woman who's in the industry. That was surprising, and that put a lot of controversy for the both of them when they did get married. Now, before I go on and give you guys my actual commentary, I'm going to read some posts here from The Shade Room from other people because I like to do this. So the first commenter to the post that I read earlier says, "Nobody's perfect. Indeed, y'all find peace and love." The next commenter says, "Wow, this one is definitely a shocker." I feel her. I understand. This commenter says, "Oh my gosh, no. Meagan, are you okay?" And with the eyes and laughing emojis. This commenter says, "I'm shook," with a surprised face, and he says, "What the?" with the question mark. This next commenter says, "They're in two different worlds mentally and spiritually. It lasted longer than expected." Ugh. There's some truth spoken in that, and I'm going to really address that later on, man. We're going to get into that. This commenter says, "This couple made me go celibate for a year, and this what y'all do?" She's mad. She's mad that she had to go celibate for a year. That's pretty funny. And you got people here laughing and stuff. She's mad, man. Why is she mad? Because she wanted that BBC to bust those cheeks. But she went celibate for a year because she was probably looking for a husband when she didn't know that she had to change herself and change her modern woman mentality. This next commenter says, "If a pastor filed for divorce, ... That's exactly what I was thinking. And let me tell you, that comment right there probably pissed off a lot of people, right? If a pastor filed for divorce, then something must be wrong. But guys, I don't want to take any sides here. I don't want to jump to conclusions. That's not true. I'm going to jump to a couple of conclusions on here because I have my theories. Stay tuned. Don't click out. This commenter says, "You never know what's going on in people's homes. And y'all always talk about goals. This couple prays together every day and look." I don't know if this is like a backhanded comment, like this couple prays together every day and look what happened. Oh man, this is actually pretty freaking funny. I didn't expect this to be as funny as it is. This next commenter says, ... Actually sad to hear this. It is. It is actually somewhat sad to hear this, but then I quickly realized that I was way off on judging this situation. And some clarity came when I looked at it from an RP lens. This next commenter says, he watched Harlem and got hurt. Oof. All right, we're going to skip all these next comments and we're going to get to this final comment that I'm going to read to you guys by this intelligent, smart, handsome individual by the name of Chisha Zed. And guys, this is what I commented on the post. I said, there's more to this story. That's what I believe. I believe there's more to the story. Now, I want to start this off by saying I have met DeVon Franklin before. I've seen him a couple of times, actually. But the one time I actually got to talk to him was during, it was like a sermon or something he was preaching over here in SoCal. This is before I actually moved to Los Angeles, and I actually saw him in Los Angeles. Yo, what's up, guys? So I'm here in the back end of my studio. This is where all the magic happens, man. This is where all the editing happens. I'm actually looking at my analytics right now, and what it's telling me is that 65% of you are not subscribed, right? And this is 65% of people who watch my channel on a consistent basis. Listen, guys, I need your help. My goal is 60K subscribers by the end of January. That's double my subscriber rate right now. We can do this, but I can't do it without you. Hit that subscribe button. You may think you're subscribed, but the way YouTube works is that it pushes videos to you, right? You don't go searching for these videos. They appear and they pop up, unless if you hit that notification bell. If you did, I appreciate you. So if you think you're subscribed, if you can do me a favor and make sure, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate you all. Let's do this. Back into this video. I'm out. And the vibe I got from the guy was he was a genuine brother, right? Met him, seemed genuine, and it's hard to find genuine people within the spiritual sector. I'm not somebody who meets people and thinks to myself, I need to save this person's soul. I'm the type of person that thinks to myself, I need to be a good person to this individual, which is why I'm not, super pushy with my spirituality. I do believe God exists, amongst other things. That is just my own belief. That's not the type of conversation I'm trying to get into today. And I probably won't ever get into it on this channel. Why? Because that's not the way I live my life. But I will say this. Ran into DeVon Franklin, and I remember thinking to myself, man, how is it? And this was after I became RP aware. Because the time I met him, I wasn't. And I remember thinking to myself, how is it that this guy who was raised up on these traditional values and principles, right? He made him and his wife be celibate until they got married. He made her wait, and he also waited. I believe it's in his book, which I have not read, but I've heard other people talk about it. What made him go after a woman who at one point was obviously for the streets, right? That was my question. And she's dated a lot of people within the industry. And I'm going to kind of read a little bit of the different types of people that she's dated before actually dating DeVon Franklin. She's dated Soulja Boy, right? And, and guys, here I'm talking about the Pookies and the Ray Rays. Oh yeah, Soulja Boy. That's first on the list. Nick Cannon, right? I know Nick was trying to put a baby in that. Jamie Foxx, Tyrese, Joseph Gordon, and 50 Cent, right? A list that would give any RP aware man in his right mind a heart attack immediately. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 flags, red flags that DeVon Franklin decided to ignore. I want to say something here first, going forward. I respect this man. Seems like a genuine guy. But I want to talk about this. There's a reason why this happened. There's a reason why this happened. And if you look just a little bit deeper and fix your RP lenses a little bit more sturdy, you'll be able to see why this was bound to fail. But first, let's look at what the women on Instagram are saying. Well, the women on Instagram are saying things like, he's about to come out. Right? And to me, I'm like, come on, man. Like, why is it that every time you guys see a situation where a couple splits, a black man and a black woman, the first thing is to call that black man sus, right? You want to question his sexuality. Why is that the go-to? I don't like that at all. Personally, I don't know what it is about our women that makes them jump to those type of conclusions. And they love to do it for everybody. Oh, he's gay. Obviously, he's gay. Right? I don't think that's the case. But okay, you have your opinion. But if you think that's crazy, I want to show you guys what Twitter's talking about over here. This commenter on Twitter says, Meagan Good was eating a nigga's cheeks in her new TV role, and DeVon Franklin said, I've had enough. Damn. And guys, I thought this was an exaggeration. That's until I saw the actual photo. And when I saw that, I said to myself, In fact, let me tell you guys this. It's kind of crazy that this situation came up when it did. 2 days ago, I was, again, minding my own business, scrolling on Instagram, when I come across an advertisement for the show Harlem, where Meagan Good is the star. And I see the show come up, and it's like a trailer for the show, and immediately I see Meagan Good like making out with one of the guys on the show. And what came to mind is like, wait, isn't this chick married? Is DeVon okay with this? It just seemed like a weird situation. Right? It all seemed weird. But let's look at what the show is actually about. The show is called Harlem. And real quick, I'm going to read the synopsis for you guys here. The 10-episode series follows 4 girls who met while attending New York University and are now in their 30s. How ironic. In their 30s. They've hit that wall. Going on. Living in Harlem as they try to balance love, life, and their careers as working professionals. We are looking at a story about the average woman in the West. Specifically, the average woman in America. And I started doing some research. I asked myself, how old is Meagan Good? Meagan Good is 40 years old. Now, guys, we're about to enter some RP heavy stuff. So put on your RP glasses, man. Meagan is 40 years old. And then I asked myself, how old was Meagan Good when she married DeVon Franklin? Meagan Good was 30 years old when she married DeVon Franklin. Now, guys, remember earlier I said I shouldn't have been surprised at how things turned out with their marriage. Why? Because it just makes sense. When you really look at it, it just makes sense. What do we know about modern women when it comes to that epiphany stage of their lives? Now, that epiphany stage is usually from 29 to about 33. This is when a woman realizes that she can no longer compete with her competition. Now, who's a competition for a 30-year-old? Well, her competition are women in their prime, women in their early 20s, right? That peak being about 23 years old. And guys, if you're wondering how you can get a deeper dive into understanding this stuff, make sure you go follow The Rational Male on YouTube and also go purchase the book, The Rational Male, right? That's written by Rollo Tomasi. He's been on the Fresh and Fit podcast and many other podcasts. But there's a lot of guys that talk about this, but I don't believe anybody really kind of hones down in on this specific topic the way Rollo Tomasi does. So at 30 years old, Meagan Good realizes that, hey, I'm getting older. I spent the last decade partying, having fun, and it's time to find myself a guy to settle down with. Now, what she wants at this time in her life changes, right? She's not looking for that fun anymore. She's not looking for the guy that's going to give her excitement. She's not looking for Soulja Boy. She's not looking for 50 Cent. What is she looking for? She's looking for somebody who's going to bring stability to her life. It's not about fun anymore. It's about the possibility of a family, securing a future, so on and so forth. And something that's really interesting about women who get closer to that age is that ironically is the time when a lot of women find God, right? They find themselves. They're seeking to purify themselves. And it's ironic. I'm not saying it's not genuine. I am just saying the irony in this whole thing. If you look at the pattern of most women, when they get married, most women today get married between the ages of like 28 to about like 32. And that is usually the stage where they're also seeking a deeper spiritual understanding to better their lives. Genuine, convenient, I don't know. It's all up to you. I'm just here letting you guys know the facts. So the big question here is, what happened? What split these two apart? Because apart from every other situation, every other marriage, the one thing that's interesting about this specific one is the man initiated the divorce. 70% of women initiate divorce, right? But in this specific situation, DeVon Franklin initiated the divorce. Now, there's a lot of speculation going around as to why he's the one that initiated divorce. Because let's say things actually played out in her favor, how she wanted things to play out. She would have had children. And then if something happened then maybe she would have divorced. So the odd thing is that they actually divorced before they had any children. So that leads me to the first reason why a lot of people say that they divorced. And that first theory is he wanted kids and she wasn't ready to have kids. DeVon Franklin wanted to have children. Again, these are theories, but she wasn't ready to have children. So what's wrong with that? Well, I've said it countless times on my channel, and maybe not often enough, but I always say the two ways you can tell whether a woman views you as alpha, right, as that alpha type, is if she will, one, seek your guidance and your leadership, right? She looks up to you. Two, she wants to reproduce with you. Those are two ways whether you can tell a woman views you as an alpha. That third, last, final way you can tell is whether she breaks rules for you, because we all know women make rules for betas, but break rules for alphas. So that first theory that I know some other YouTubers have talked about, I don't know where sources have coming from, but basically he's ready to have kids, but she's not. And then you have the Twitter theory, right? The Twitter theory of that he saw his woman kind of going back into the streets, which isn't a far-fetched theory. There's a lot of men out here who think they can turn 304s into housewives. And there is no more obvious story of a 304 getting turned into or tried to get turned into a housewife than Meagan Good, right? We know that she was wilding before she got with DeVon. We know that she was in the streets. Her cheeks were getting busted, right? Fast, not slow, by rappers, the Pookies and Ray Rays of the industry, right? They're passing her around, having a good time with Meagan. No disrespect, man. It's all facts. It's all right here. I'm just telling it as it is. So for someone to say that eventually she started to do things and started to revert, because you shouldn't try to turn a 304 into a housewife. Why? Because she is a 304, and most likely she won't change. Especially when she's a 304 when you meet her. Why do I say that? Well, because every woman has had their 304 phase. A lot of you men don't want to hear that. A lot of you guys are looking for virgins. Some of you guys are hilarious. You think there's plenty of women out there who are virgins. you're sadly mistaken. But she reverted back to her 304 ways. That's the second theory. Now, my theory is this, and this is just based in theory, me looking at the situation, me looking at him. I think she cheated. I think Meagan Good cheated on DeVon Franklin. And him being the type of person he is, him looking at the situation logically, he says, you know what? If this comes out, this will hurt both of our reputations. Not yours, but also mine. So we're going to keep this underground. And I can see him seeing that as the Christian thing to do, right? He's willing to look like the bad guy. Why? Because the alternative of making it known that she actually cheated, which she's never going to snitch on herself. But the alternative of her making it known would be worse to the both of their reputations. Him, his Christian ministry. Because everybody probably, there's a sector of people who looked at him like, man, why are you wifing up this 304? And also, it would look bad on her because people kind of look at her as you weren't good enough for someone like DeVon Franklin. Now, either way, at the end of the day, I don't care. It's interesting to look at the situation. I do care about my future. I hope you care about your future. I hope you learn from what you see around you. Listen, I know celebrities aren't the perfect example, but they are exposed enough that we could use them as examples. Their situations are usually a little bit extreme, but I want you guys to take this from this situation. Take the knowledge you know as an RP aware man, and don't hesitate to apply it in your situation. Don't try to turn a 304 into a housewife, man. You're not going to find a perfect woman out there. Again, you will not find a perfect woman out there. And you know what else you should know? The guys that come on here and talk about in my comment section, they're all going to cheat, they're all going to do this, there's no loyal girls out there. Those are guys who are not getting laid. If you see a guy in the comment section talking about all women are like that, yes, do all women have the potential of cheating? Yes, they do. Right? But are all women like that? I think it matters the way you carry it. Have you embraced that alpha mentality? Are you working on yourself? Are you bettering on yourself? Are you focused on you? And also, don't ignore red flags. Meagan Good was a red flag. I'm sorry, I gotta say it. To any man who'd have looked at her past, she would have been a freaking Chinese parade red flag. She was a red flag. It's just that simple. I appreciate you guys. As always, hit that like button if you haven't hit it already. Let me know what you think of the content down below. Let me know what you thought. Until next time, my name is Shisha Zed. I'm out. Peace.
I'm a walking Liberty Bell. Free to ring through my stride. Freedom to be inside and be a slave to my pride and ride away to scream. Man, this love's so serene. I should probably shake it up just a little bit.